Catching up with Jonathan Lucroy, brought to you by Quick Trip.
Let's talk a little bit about having these guys in town here. When you go up against them, obviously, they're on the level they've been on for so long, but they're kind of figuring it out here. Can you get a sense that they are, and can you get a sense of where you are, maybe is, I guess, in that same process of trying to figure out how far this team can go this year?
We're a little behind. I mean, I think that you got these guys are obviously a really talented team, and they have a lot of weapons, a lot of veteran players have been around a long time, really good arms in the bullpen. And, they're just a little more. I think we're younger than they are for sure. Yeah. Experience-wise, we don't have as much of that either. So, those are all big factors. And hopefully we can continue to be competitive and take some games from them here. And we lost the first one yesterday, but hopefully we can win tonight and win tomorrow. And we beat the Cubs here 2 out of 3. So I think we can definitely do that with the Cardinals too.
There seem to be more strong hitting catchers, but it's still a pretty small fraternity of those guys hitting 290 and above. Do you guys get to spend time, or I know some fans don't like when you guys have friendly relationships with the other team and all that. Do you get to just kind of pick each other's brains at all with Yadier or anybody like that?
No, I really don't talk to Yadi that much. I mean, there's some other guys I do talk to, but we all have the same thing in common, and for the most part, and we it is a very small fraternity, I guess, kind of being a big league catcher, and I'm personable with all of them. I talk to them when I go up home plate. Yeah. Hi, how you doing? Type thing. But no really going out to dinner or anything like that. We don't, not that close.
And then you kind of had the reverse where he was looked upon. A lot of people thought he was special, but from the fielding, and he developed the hitting. I think you were a solid catcher, but the hitting was the first people noticed here. Talk a little bit about that.
I've always been a hitting first catcher, and coming up high school and college and minor leagues, and I made it a point to, they've always said that hitting gets you to the big leagues, but your defense keeps you there.
Yeah.
And so that's what I've always tried to do, is get better and be as well-rounded as I possibly can.
Let me ask you about Willie, who's, we're going to see him. He did set a standard for himself, and maybe it works against him when he has had struggles here because, we have this ace mentality on him, and it seems to be a steady progression, at least from the outside looking in. Is it tougher when you have been, he had to battle at first when he got up here, but he showed right off the bat that he had something special.
Yeah, he has a good arm, and when you have a guy with a good arm, if you can get him to harness that ability, then he can be competitive and have an impact. So, hopefully he's had a rough start this year, a little rough last year, but hopefully he can continue to get better and keep improving, like all of us. That's all of our goals really is. So hopefully he can continue to do that, and he'll definitely be a big part of the team for sure.
And what's your role in that a little bit when you can't give him a pitching lesson probably, but what can you do as you're talking? I'm assuming you pitched him, but not at that level.
I communicate with our pitching coach, and from my standpoint of view, I see the game different. I see him different. I see the pitches different than anybody else does. So I'm able to communicate that to him, both to Willie and to the pitching coach, and really figure out the best way to help and improve him from what we see. So kind of like a collaboration. And we all do that for each other. The pitchers do it for me. Hey, we want you to do this different. We like this better, whatever. So it's just about getting better as a team and improving, and that's pretty much what my role is.
Let me ask you about baseball insiders when they are. How often is it? How did he get that information? How often there's no way, because that's not true. How much does that come into play when
talking about like national writers
or guys that haven't been in your locker room ever and they write something? Talk about that a little bit.
It's something that you hear a lot of rumors and people make up stuff and they say stuff, and a lot of it is to create drama.
Yeah,
it's the dramatic effect. People, drama brings attention, and for us as players, we try to avoid drama as much as we can, and sometimes it's easier said than done.
Yeah,
because it kind of follows you around, and if you're not careful, you could be taken out of context, and that could be used against you to make you look bad. And it's just, you just got to be really careful. And You know, that's why a lot of guys are so cut and dry with media, because they'll be Twitter words will be twisted and made and written in a way to make it sound like something negative.
Yeah.
You know, nobody wants negative attention.
Yeah.
You know, and I say, you know, it's just, I guess it's just a part of the life. I mean, it's the same thing with Hollywood and you know, politics and all that. It's all about drama.
Right.
You know, drama brings attention. So it's like, I guess it's just kind of something you got to deal with.
Well, Skip Bayless just got about $5 million a year from Fox for whatever it is he does. You know, there is a reward for it, but can you as a player, you know, when a guy starts making his living at the expense of guys you care about or guys that you know, maybe something, can players do anything besides shut it down and suddenly become uninteresting?
You know, the game, I heard a guy say one time, the farther you get away from the game, the easier it becomes. You know, it's really, really hard when you're in the box or you're on the mound. You know, it becomes a little easier whenever you're in the dugout. When you're in the stands, it's easier. Yeah. On TV, it's the easiest game in the world. Yeah. And, you know, it's a very, very difficult game to do, and a lot of people do not understand that. Yeah. They don't, and you're taking a round bat, you know, this big, and you're hitting a round ball this big, and that ball's moving at 90 plus miles an hour, and you have 4/10 of a second to react to it.
Right.
That's a 90. That's an easy pitch to hit. You're talking to a guy like yesterday throwing 99 to 100. Right. I mean, I'll give someone a paycheck to come out here and and do something with that. You know what I mean?
But you're not going to pay up until they do it, though. You're not going to. Yeah. So.
No. So it's any of these riders or anybody like that, come on out, try it out.
But like, I mean,
we'll turn the machine up to 100, see what we got.
There you go. Let alone somebody that might veer off a little bit.
Yeah, you never know. Don't be afraid to get hit in the face. Yeah. Because it could happen.
Well, you'll even say in the same week, I've heard Ryan is untradeable he's the hot trade guy. I've heard they're going to trade him soon to
you don't know
the All-Star break. How do you avoid that?
It's just you ignore it. I mean, I told my agent, don't even call me about it unless it's for sure. Yeah. You know, I mean, if I do, then I do. I mean, if I don't, then I don't. So it's just a part of the game. I mean, I was talking to our DC, our hitting coach, about it. He got traded 3 times. He played 14 years. He got traded 3 times. Yeah. So it's like, you know, Aaron Hill's been traded twice. Yeah. You know, and Cappy's been traded. Chris Capon's been traded several times. So it's just like it's part of the game, and it's just the way it is. You know, it's just part of the game. It's a business first, and that's just the way it is. And
having a manager who succeeded pretty high level, having been moved around,
and he was traded too. Yeah. And so it's, you know, I think there's very few players nowadays that actually play their whole career with one team. Yeah. There really is. There's very few. So, you know, it's just a matter of, you know, the business side kind of taking that over.
Do you look for wisdom from anybody on that, or it seems like you've already got it?
I mean, I talk to guys about it, having never gone through before, but, you know, the one lesson I've learned is that, you know what, you got to treat it like a business, because that's the way they're treating us. You know, we're business pieces to them. We're money makers, and you got to treat that side of it the same way. Just got to really have like a whatever attitude about it, and just go out and play baseball on the field and not worry about anything else, because you can't control it. You know what I mean? You can't control it. Yeah. Just go out and play and be done.
Yeah. And finally, you're looked upon as a pretty smart player. I would think you would think that.
Well, sometimes.
Maybe. As a guy, I don't know so much, but how often does it happen where you wonder, what was I thinking? Maybe you're in at bats and you're wondering, why was I doing that? Or what? I mean, how often does it happen to you? Because I've talked with guys over the years, and they said, I don't know what I was thinking. Or how often does it happen in the field or at bat where I don't understand what I was doing there?
You know, if you guys make mistakes, you're going to make mistakes. And, you know, the physical mistakes are going to happen. The physical mistakes happen. The mental mistakes are the things that I can't stand. Yeah. If your mindset is incorrect, if your approach or your mental approach is incorrect, you know, something like that, then that's something that you can control. Right. For me. Physical mistakes, the ball takes a bad hop, a guy quick pitches you and you swing at a bad pitch, you know, a guy's ball moves late, and whenever you're all over it and it moves real late and you end up hitting a double play, you get jammed. Those things happen. They happen. They happen, and you throw a ball in the center field or whatever. You have a pass ball. even though I can't stand pass balls. But whenever they do happen, I hate them when it happens. But they happen. You didn't do it on purpose.
Right.
Now, mental mistakes are something you can control. And for me, that's the one thing I can't stand is mental mistakes, especially within myself.
Yeah.
So.
Does it hit you like 1 in the morning or something? Like you're
No, I usually think about it on the ride home. Then I get home and I call my wife and FaceTime, and I just kind of let go of that and move on. That's the beautiful thing about baseball is you're able to move on and play the next day. Kind of get back. You go out, you can go 0 for 4 strikeouts. Next day, get up, hit a home run, get a couple hits, a couple RBIs, and totally forget about the day before. That's a beautiful game about baseball. Beautiful thing about baseball. Football players can't do that. They got a week to think about what they did wrong.
Yeah. Should the Brewers possibly hire your wife as a consultant of some sort for you guys?
Well, she's pretty good.
Yeah.
She's pretty good. So she's pretty good distractor. She'll distract you pretty good. So yeah, and I can't even talk about baseball around her really. So it's a good thing. And she doesn't know anything about baseball, so it's great.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to talk about it because she don't know anything about it anyway. So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Catch more at my24milwaukee.com.